have to drop off. If we are recording this webinar, so if you have to drop off, you will be able to see the remainder of it at a later time. We are going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us today. If you are joining us, please share your name and where you're dialing in from in the chat so we know who we have here. We are going to have hopefully a dialogue today where we are open to you all asking questions. You're free to drop them in the chat, or you're free to raise your hand or come off of mute and ask a question as we move along. Today is the second webinar in our 3-webinar series about tracking your data, your childcare data. We are doing this in partnership with Intertribal Software, and they are going to be walking us through today a deeper dive into the OneTribe Child Care Assistance software. But first, I'm going to share a little bit about us, the National Indian Child Care Association. We are a national tribal-led organization who does advocacy and capacity building for tribal childcare and early learning programs. Our board of directors, as well as our staff, are all from Native communities, and our board of directors actually operate tribal childcare programs for their tribes. I'm Jennifer Ratcliffe, the executive director. I am a member of the Cherokee Nation, and I'm here with my partner, Monica Pisano, who is a member of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina. I sit in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Monica is in Georgia. And we are excited to be here with you today and are happy to answer any questions you have about NICA and the work that we do as well. Before we dive into the data side of it, I wanted to just highlight a couple of things that have been going on at a national level with childcare and with all of our federal funding. You all probably are very aware that 5 regional offices closed earlier in the year, I think in April. And those 5 offices, 80% of tribal governments are served by them. Those were HHS offices. This is a big, huge challenge for us because it reduces our access to direct communication with the Department of Health and Human Services. It hinders our abilities to get technical assistance and to be able to just sort of have that direct connection for our programs. I did want to highlight there was a new CCDF information memorandum that came out about a month ago at this point that basically promotes educational freedom. I don't think it was anything different from what you all are actually allowed to do right now, but it allows you to be able to use subsidies and vouchers for any program, whether it's faith-based or not, for serving your children and families. Most recently, last week, the president released his budget. They call it the skinny budget, which is basically just some high-level parameters for what the president is proposing for federal funding. Things to note are listed here on the screen. I won't go into great detail on them. But it called for a 23% decrease in federal funding for non-defense programs. Defense programs are like the Department of Defense, Homeland Security, sort of are like military and external sort of safety pieces. But for non-defense spending, he proposed a 23% decrease. This will affect tribal programs, but this also affects all social safety net programs and all programs across the country, across every agency. I believe it doesn't say the number in here. Oh yeah, 87% cut to ed programs. I think that was pretty expected given the dismantling of the Department of Education. The Health and Human Services had a big cuts towards SAMHSA, and as you probably all likely know, SAMHSA has a lot of tribal serving programs. And right, there we go. There was the elimination of the community services block grant proposed, as well as LIHEAP. LIHEAP is low income something energy assistance program, heat and energy assistance program. So those were proposed to be eliminated. And the last thing I want to note is going around and circulating nationally was that Head Start was going to be proposed to be eliminated. That was not included in this budget. So the president is not proposing to eliminate Head Start, but he is proposing to eliminate CSBG and LIHEAP. The sort of key takeaways for this is that there's lots of change expected, but I want to leave you with the fact that Congress still has to approve this budget. So this is just what the president is proposing for Congress to take up. It will require Congress to discuss and talk about and to ultimately be decided by Congress. The skinny budget that was sent out did not have did not actually explicitly list Head Start or childcare, which I think that it probably leads us to, it's likely we will not get any expanded funding or increase in funding, but we also may not see any cuts in funding for FY26. So that's sort of a small win in that we're not getting a decrease in funding, but not having an increase in funding is kind of functionally a decrease because of inflation. But I did want to share that. Here is our contact information. I will drop it in the chat as well. And then I want to take this opportunity now to ask if there are any questions that anybody has. You can drop them in the chat or you can hop off of mute and I can answer any questions that we have before we dive into the meat of OneTribe Child Care Assistance software today. All right, then I'm going to take this time to introduce our partners at Intertribal Software. They will be sharing with you all of the ins and outs of this really cool tool that you have access to. And again, I will be moderating the chat box. And so if you have any questions, please feel free to drop those in the chat or also raise your hand and you can come off of mute and ask in live time.
Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you giving us this opportunity to share with the NICA team and the group today. My name is Steve Wilcox. I'm the CEO and founder of Intertribal Software. And I thought before we get started, we'd just do a quick introduction of the Intertribal team and let everybody know kind of who they are and what they do at Intertribal. And then we have a few introduction slides before we do the actual software demo. So Mike, I don't know if you want to kick it off.
Hi, I'm Michael Maris. I am probably the guy that some of you guys have been talking to for the last few weeks and months, and I'll probably be the guy that you'll be talking to after this webinar. So it's great to see you guys here.
Mike is our sales manager. Thanks, Mike. Billy?
Good afternoon. I'm Billy Miller. I'm the software trainer at Intertribal Software. Sometimes you see my face and hear my southern accent at the demos, and then you'll see me again when I come to visit you to do the training in person. I look forward to talking with you today, and very nice to meet all of you.
Kevin?
Kevin Lamb, I'm the Director of Professional Services here, also Senior Project Manager. So I'm also quite involved in every project that we have. I've been doing this with Intertribal for about 8.5 years, and we're very excited to partner with the NICA group.
Thanks, Kevin. Dustin?
Yeah, my name is Dustin Monroe. I'm Scubby Buckani from Browning, Montana. I'm with the sales team. And so just like Mike said, you probably see a lot of him and you're going to get some emails that I've probably been sent out to everyone. So thank you.
KT, are you able to introduce here even though you seem mobile?
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm on the road. My name is Khalil Tawil. I'm the executive chairman of Intertribal Software. I'm really, I work for all these guys. So y'all are in good hands.
Thanks, Skip.
Yeah, I'm Skip Lamb. I'm the technical director here at Intertribal Software. I'm the one who knows all the ins and outs of how everything works and fits together and actually makes it all happen.
Thanks, Skip. Well, again, I appreciate everybody taking time today. We're excited to kind of share our story of Intertribal Software. We'll be brief on that and then dig right into the software demo today. As we said in the last webinar, one of the things that really differentiates our company is that we're 100% dedicated to working with tribal governments to provide data management solutions to make their day-to-day lives easier, to make the process of delivering member services more efficient and easier. And then as we get, into a time here where budgets seem to be at risk or tighter budgets, then sometimes good data management, reporting, and tracking, those are all things that can really support either additional funding from within the tribe, other funding resources. So it's been really a vision and a mission of ours since 1993 that we could be that partner with each tribal department that we work with. We've been around a long time. We've learned a lot from the directors and the workers that we've worked with. And our OneTribe Member Services software suite kind of spans the entire realm of all software programs. We have very large tribes using our products, like the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, and we have some very small tribes using our software products. So we feel like we're, again, a good partner. We learn from the people we work with every day, but we're also very consistent. We've been here for quite some time, and we're always available to help and partner with any tribal program that we're working with. I think just to highlight again, our purpose is that each tribal member program requires different kinds of data management. Depending on the granting and the funding source, there are requirements that could be quarterly or annual reporting. The actual ability to measure and track how many services you're delivering in what areas, the demographics of the people receiving the services, those are all pretty common within tribal programs. And so our years of doing this have really helped us identify many of those data points and be able to implement those within our software, our different software solutions. Just some of the problems we solved. One is that just going back years, most tribal programs, they don't share any data. They have sort of their own piece of software, and have a difficult time to know who's receiving services from what programs, maybe underserved or overserved members. There's generally a goal to digital transform these tribal programs and departments. And this is something that we work extensively with, helping departments go paperless, scan, image, and digitize all their records. And then ultimately, grant and budget reporting are super important. Being able to produce reports like the ACF 700 on a timely basis, to be able to do audit reports that come behind that, to know that your data is right and where it's coming from. We feel like these are some really key points for any tribal CCDF program. I think if we look back, our first tribe that we started working with probably 20 years ago was the Choctaw Nation CCDF program, and then later started bringing in other tribal CCDF programs. But all of the features and the capabilities of the software that we have today were really derived from input and ideas and lots of whiteboarding sessions with directors and end users. So what we find is that, software developers are very important. People like Skip that architect software and make it easy to use, user-friendly and efficient. But ultimately, it's that interaction that honestly never ends over time, of us looking and working with those directors and users to improve it. Some of the key components before we go into the demo, we have provider management. This can go all the way into doing licensing for your daycare providers, determining who's active and eligible, provider licensing, things along the safety and certifications that may be required. The copay calculations is something that we have very flexible and extensive abilities, but we understand that some of the CCDF programs are now moving away from some of that. But all of these features are built into the software. It's something that we can really partner with your department and organization to help you implement this, and then be there ongoing for support. The one thing that we find, after these many years of doing this, is that oftentimes there is changes in workers and leadership. Directors may, change, and having a consistent partner like Intertribal Software to help when those changes occur, provide training or any support during some of those staffing changes is something that we feel like that we can definitely be as a great partner when those things happen. So at this point, I want to go ahead and let Billy run through the software. Our goal here is not to show you everything the software does, but to kind of give you an experience of the look and the feel of the software. And if you're ready to look at it deeper for your CCDF program, we would just want you to contact us. We'll do an individual demo, go in a little deeper, and really talk about how it fits for your program specifically. And so today's goal is just to do a high-level walkthrough, and then really give everybody on the call opportunities to ask questions. And I think at the end of the demo, Jen will be able to sort of manage some of the questions that people have, and then hopefully between her and our team will provide some good answers. So again, appreciate everybody's time today, and thank you for being here. And Billy, I'll go ahead and stop sharing and turn it over to you.
All right, sounds good. Okay, everybody see the screen okay? Good deal. All righty. What was that?
Was just saying, yes, sir, we can see it.
Oh, good deal. I just heard cricket, so I wanted to make sure everybody can see it okay. All right. What you're seeing is the main screen or dashboard of our CCA software. The menu is here on the left, and I'm just going to go in and we're going to just walk through a few things for you. As Steve said, we go a lot deeper on a more individual demo with individual potential customers. We're going to try to hit some good high spots and things we feel like you'll want to see. Down here on the menu, I'm going to go and look at an agreement, so you can kind of see the actual agreement and how all of the players are brought together in the agreement. But while I'm here, just real quickly in the list area, there is a master list of all your agreements, children, guardians, providers, your claims, so forth. All of that data you've entered, you have it there as well. But it's also going to be available elsewhere, and I'll mention that as we go on through. I think I got the agreement there. I have small town Wi-Fi too, so bear with me. Going to click on one of these agreements here, and this is what an agreement screen would look like. Over here on the left-hand side, you have where your child information, their birth date, their age. That's all coming from their record. All of these people have their own record in the system. You've got you also have some information there you can keep for their school. Over there in the center here, under where it says guardians, you have the guardians. The reason for care is listed there. And just below that, the provider that this agreement is with. So all three of these players, if you will, are coming together in this agreement. And then to the right, we have the status of the agreement. There's also settings for the length of your agreements, your standard length, whether years, 6 months, things like that. And then we have an area where you can put in their typical approved days, hours, whatever that the child might attend within whatever period of time. In our situation here, or our example is going to be for a month. And let's see, just want to make sure I'm covering everything here. Also wanted to note that the employment and school records of the guardian or guardians also comes over from their record into the agreement, so you have that to reference as well. As I move forward, if any of my coworkers think I'm missing something, please jump in and let me know. I'm going to jump over here to a guardian and just show you a guardian's record. Now, the guardian's record and the children's record are almost identical. There are a few little things that are just for the child or just for the guardian, but primarily they look very much alike. When you're actually entering new data, this is where you would start. You would start at the guardians list and then click an Add Guardian button. You'll get a blank screen. I want you to be able to see how it looks when it's all filled out. So we picked one that is already existing, but you go in and enter your guardians, and then from your guardians, you enter their data first, and then you're going to go in and add any additional guardians, children. You have to get your providers in there too before you can bring them all together at the agreement. But you have a family members tab in the guardian and the children's records where you can add in additional children guardians, and they're already automatically added to that family group. You can also add other individuals that may be living in the household as well. But having this information here is also going to help you facilitate how many's in the family, how many children you have that are active, what the income is, if you're going to need income to determine your copay and that kind of thing. And the data that's unique to each person, or each one of the players in the agreement, the guardian, the child, the provider, all of their unique information, like the claims that were unique to them or the agreements that were unique to them, are also on their record. As you see in this, we have a list of all the agreements that had something to do with this guardian, all of the claims that were somehow related to this guardian, no matter what the child was. You see this same information on each one of their records: your children, your guardians, and your providers. Another thing that we want to go over for you is how to process your claims and post payments. I'm going to jump right to the post payments area here. This is where the actual claims are processed. The process here is you choose your month you're going to work with. You're going to type in, and I have a couple of them that I wrote down here for me, so I hope I'll remember which one. And you then load your provider. And what it's showing you now in the upper right area is the children that have approved agreements with that particular provider, but we haven't entered any information like how much did they attend. We haven't processed that claim or that payment. So what we do is we simply will double click on each child's name. And within this claim window, it shows, you'll see some numbers right by part-time days, full-time days. We can also refer to hours, but you'll see a little 20 there. That's what's on their agreement, is what they're approved for their care. But you can certainly manipulate that here at this screen if it's a little different from what's normal. But in this situation, I'm just going to enter what's already there, the 20 days. And we've got a daily rate here, the calculated copay, which is coming from the family size, the income, and the copay. Drawing a blank here for a minute. The copay schedule that's loaded into the system that's in the admin. And then we'll go ahead and hit save, and then just simply do the same thing for each one of these individuals. I tried to pick one that wasn't so many of them. And as you see, every time that I go in and make an entry for each child and enter their charges, and I hit save, they move to the bottom. And this is the process you would do with each one of them. And then once we're done, You have a payment summary report that you can print out. This could be something sent to your finance department or something like that, that shows all of the individuals that you're going to pay this month for this particular provider. And the most important thing after you're done with this payment summary is to click this Mark Payments as posted. Otherwise, it will not go to your ACF 700. So you want to click that. And as you see, now they're all marked, checked off. All of that claim has now been processed. You've got your payment summary to send to your finance department or however you process your payments. And now all of these claims will now appear on the appropriate reports. So since we are mentioning reports, I'm going to just jump down here to the report section. Our reports are all of the reports are categorized for certain areas within the system. Just like Steve mentioned earlier, the way this is designed, and also with the reports that we have, while we do have some that are required by the federal government, a lot of this reporting it comes from the years of work with our tribal customers and what they needed and the type of reporting they needed, and that's how all this happens. So you're just not getting reports that our developers decided to hand you. But there's a few I wanted to show you real quick. One of which is part of the ACF 700. You actually have date parameters you can put into the system. So you can actually check your numbers for a week, for a month, for a day, for whatever time periods you're using, not just the entire year. But here I'm going to just click OK. All of our reports in the system print to screen. Then that gives you the opportunity to print hard copies or to save them to a file or both. Another one here I wanted to click on. I think I did the wrong one, excuse me. Kind of the old school ACF 700. Some of you may kind of recognize this layout. I think I understand it's looking a little different these days. A couple others that we wanted to go over was an admin summary. And some of you may understand what this is for, and shows you some charts here having to do with just an administrative summary of that particular reporting period. Also in your own tribal logos and name and address will appear on all of your reportings, just like you see here. We can load your logo and that kind of thing in there as well. We also have a program profile report that we wanted to show here. And another one, an annual detail report that we have, we thought might interest some or all of you, that is available as well. And this is just the annual report detail. I've got like 5 months worth of detail for this year in my demo, so you're getting like 5 months, but you get the gist of it. And then we also have other reportings that are based just solely on the children, on your claims and payments within the system. There's also reports having to do with just the guardians, and then of course some of your reports having to do just solely about the providers themselves. The other piece of the software also is the administration area. In the administration area, you're going to first of all, it's where your users, all of your users within your tribal department are all logged in there, so they can log into the system. Their permission levels, what they're allowed to do in the system or not allowed to do in the system. Also, things like co-payment schedule. If you still have a copay in your child care department, we can set up your copay schedule, put it right in here, so that when you enter your information on your families, your guardians, your children, and income and what have you, it can calculate that copay for you. On that subject, you can also waive a copay at any time, so it allows that as well. And then also in the admin areas, you have ability to create checkboxes in your attributes tabs. You're able to control the content of drop downs in the system, so using your own terminology. So gives you a little bit of flexibility kind of to kind of make it your own in that respect. So and the last thing I wanted to mention was also everyone that whenever a user logs into the system, every user has a little icon up here in this upper right hand corner, user guide, and what it does is it will open up a user guide that for this software with a table of contents, also has screenshots, what have you, all within this user guide. So that's another reference you have, as well as our tech support. So guys, Steve, anybody, did I leave something out or anything?
No, I think that was good, Billy. I feel like, that at least probably relates to what most people do within their CCDF program. And just to kind of look backwards, in our first webinar, we were talking about that the tribal data tracker is been end of life and it's no longer going to be supported. And with at least a number of other CCDF departments, we've converted their tribal data tracker data into the intertribal OneTribe CCA. So that is a path that we're familiar with, and it is a capability that we can do. So, Jen, I may let you kind of jump back in for a little more overview, and then we have a couple final points whenever.
Should I stop sharing that screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's super helpful, Steve, to hear about being able to pull in from the data tracker. That's really helpful. So I'm going to follow up with a question we had in the chat of if when a family recertifies, do they have to make an entirely new record? It was answered in the chat, but I just want to kind of highlight it verbally. And it sounds like the answer is no, and that it picks up that record.
Right. They don't have to recertify. Once they're in the system, they're in the system. And you don't have to put any new information in. You don't have to recertify them, anything like that.
Right.
As far as the system's concerned.
And then we have another question of our program pays for fees like summer camps, field trips, registration fees. Is there a place to put this in OneTribe?
And the CCA, no, not that I'm aware of anything like that. Steve, I don't think we have anything where they can pay out from CCA, correct?
Well, I mean,
not for those.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be directly related to daycare payments, but in other OneTribe modules, we have the ability to track all kinds of, payments for field trips and summer camps and things like that. That's just not part of the CCDF module.
I'm actually curious for a little more detail. I'm curious if that is a question about being able to track which family paid for some fee, or if it's the program that paid for a fee for something. So there might be some more nuances to that because I'm not sure if it's what she's wanting to track is something that a family does individually, she or he, I don't know. So maybe you can either drop that in the chat or you're welcome to come off of mute. All right, maybe we'll get something in the chat. It says our subsidy program pays these fees for families. And are you just wanting to track that you did pay them for the family? Is that what it is? Because okay, they want to track them. So potentially that's a kind of either a notes tab or an extra field that could be added. So that's sort of what I'm thinking, Billy and Steve. Like, is there a way they can track payments that they have made for families through the system? So it could be maybe as easy as a little checkbox or a note in a note field.
Something like that could be done, but there's, like Steve said, the OneTribe modules would handle more things like that as opposed to this is just strictly for the CCDF period and not really handing out any other payments. But Steve, if you want to expand on that as well.
Yeah, I mean there are like because we have some tribes that have their own daycare, and so they're making payments to their own daycare, and so there's probably some options and configurations that could be done to just track any payments that aren't necessarily to an outside provider. But definitely something where we have other modules that were sort of designed to do all the above. This one was very specific to daycare provider payments and tracking. So it was Mitzi had a question on what the average cost of the software is. Really, we have sort of flexible pricing. Obviously we have some tribes with very, very small CCDF programs, some with very large. We tend to like to sort of do that individually with the potential client. We are offering right now free training, 2 days of training for any tribe that purchases the CCA module in the next 3 months. So we do have that program in place. There would be travel fees if we do on-site training, which we do quite frequently, but we would go ahead and not charge for the actual training time. And if you're interested in a quote specifically for your program, just reach out to us, and we would like to ask a little more information about your program and the size and things like that. And the NICA members do get the discount for the 3 days or the 2 or 3 days of training, free training.
I know you said this, but I want to kind of make sure that it's clear and make sure I understand how the clarity. So the cost for the software depends upon probably the records and the size of the program. Is that correct?
Generally speaking, that's how we price it, and it's a subscription price, so it's just an annual subscription fee to use the software. So generally, it's pretty easy to put in your budget. There's no other charges around using it, and we do not charge any user per user cost. So you can use 4 users for the first 3 months and then add a second employee or, I mean, a fifth employee, and there's no additional charges.
Mitzi, you can probably reach out to them and they can give you a cost estimate after learning a little bit more about your program and what you're looking for. Are there any other questions? You can drop them in the chat or come off of mute if you'd like.
We'll send out a thank you email, Jen, to all the attendees today with contact info in case anybody would like to see another demo a little more deeper, and then also provide any specific pricing that we need to.
Great. You're welcome to drop a contact in the chat as well, or a link in the chat if you'd like to as well. We will hold for another second or two. KT also said there's one-time implementation fees aside from the annual subscription, but no initial license fees and just an annual subscription. So there's a little bit more clarity about what it looks like.
Yeah, generally that has to do with the environment that we offer, either installation on-prem, which would be on your tribal network working with your tribal IT, or we do have some newer cloud options that we're working on for tribes that don't have any kind of IT infrastructure.
And I'll add to that. Thanks, Steve, for kind of highlighting that, because intertribal software actually has it has a pretty expansive software platform for tribes and tribal use. They cover lots and lots of programs, as Steve said in the very beginning. So this is just one component. Your childcare money can be used to purchase this, and it also can be used to purchase this while other programs in your tribe pay for other portions of it. So you can get this software, you can package it with other software for your tribe. If your tribe is looking for sort of a bigger and more expansive solution, IT solution and data tracking solution, I encourage you to explore that, share it with your tribal leader. contact Intertribal Software because they do work with tribes across a lot of different areas. And I'll clarify again, your CCDF money can be used to purchase this software and to do this data tracking. It can be used to get technical assistance on this data tracking. And you actually can have other programs use this software as well if you need to. So it's not built for Head Start, but you could also sort of capture your larger childcare program and information about your larger childcare program and use your CCDF dollars to do that. That is definitely allowable. All right, any final questions? Thank you. Oh, Sabrina, go ahead. Oh, we lost you. Or maybe we didn't. Sabrina, you're welcome to come off of mute and ask, or you can drop it in the chat.
Okay, I'm here. And so I was trying to figure out the best way to ask my question. I know I've been asking Mike this question. I spoke with Mike previously. And so during COVID, we were closed down and it caused us to switch over to digital. And so what was happening is our digital timesheet, I had to make it digital available to providers. And they had to submit it through email to me, and my email was just full constantly. And so it took me a while, and I met with Mike, but I also met with other companies to figure out the needs of the program. And one of the things that I had asked Mike, and I was trying to, and it might have to be an individual call, but my question is I see the payments piece. And and so the way that the payments are set up is somebody as a provider would send a timesheet and then we would initialize it within your software. And so my question is the company that I'm working with now, they have like our providers have a separate account and they have a QR code and they input their timesheets on their own site, and then those come to us to track and get the payments out monthly. But they also don't, but that company that I work with, it's really payment focused and it's missing the components for licensing that we do. And I don't want to use a lot of different systems, but that was my biggest question is about are you guys able to individualize the needs that I have for payments?
So Sabrina, would this be the digital capture of the timesheets and then a payment once approved is done electronically through ACH or something like that?
No, it's through our internal process. And I was trying to think of the best way to explain to her. I said I might need to do like a one-on-one call so I could show you guys my screen and how we're capturing the payments right now.
That would be great, Sabrina. I'm sure we can, understand a little better about, what's helping and what's working and maybe what we could do differently. There are options with a couple of our tools to do online, forms for providers. We would definitely could talk through that. As long as the payments are being made from, like your internal accounting process, you're not using some ACH payment provider or something like that. I think that's something we could definitely look at as well.
Yeah, so once our providers submit, like it's like our timesheet form that's uploaded into the system. And so what it does is it creates like an invoice, and then we take that invoice and we input it into our own financial system to get the providers paid. But I was trying to think of the best way to explain it, but it might be better if I set up a separate call where I could show you guys my screen because I'm really missing the licensing piece. Like it's not helping us for our licensing and monitoring.
And even while that sort of expedites that process, it doesn't help you a lot with your ACF 700 counts.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I think we'd love to talk to you. Could you reach back out to Mike, Sabrina, and then we'll set up a call with a few of our teams here, and let's walk through that together.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sabrina. Good questions, good thoughts. Yeah, the electronic timesheet provider relationship stuff it got a whole lot more important during COVID. Um, and so it's something we've looked at different ways of handling. But obviously, what we hope is that all data entry, all data collected leads to pushing one button at the end of the year. But I would do it more often than that just to look at it. And that required reporting can just be done by just running the report because you've collected all the data day to day, month to month while using the system. And I feel like we try to put that as the priority and then back into what other processes we need to do to get there. So good input though. Thank you, Sabrina.
Thank you, Sabrina. I think that question highlights for me, just reach out with whatever needs you have, because Intertribal Software is willing to talk with you and understand where your space is and what your place is in with your data and tracking it and understanding what's going on with your programs and the reporting you have to do, and figuring out how to work with your own situation. So I don't see any more questions in the chat. I want to remind people that our third webinar is next Wednesday at the same time. So whatever the hour was that you joined us today is the same time next week. And then the last thing I'll say is if you are a tribal administrator, we have our monthly call next Tuesday if you'd like to join us. The links for both of those opportunities are in the chat and you can register today. Oh, hope everyone's okay, Josh. Well, thank you all. If you guys have nothing else, we will close us out. Josh is asking if there will be a recording. We will have a recording and we'll send it to all registered guests today. So you'll get that in the next couple of days. Thank you all for joining us. And Intertribal Software, do you have any final words?
No, we appreciate everybody's time. And one of the things we've learned for many years is that everybody's needs are not all the same. And depending on your program, your location, your size, all those things can create different needs. And we're happy to get with you directly and talk through those and offer up a plan and a solution. So thank you everybody for your time. It's great to see everybody.
Thank you. Bye. See you next week.
Bye, Jen.